I will be your English tutor. We're going to start this off first of all with acknowledging the reason why I'm doing these videos. Number one, because I am an English teacher. I am also a grad student, and I have a wealth of knowledge as it pertains to English literature as well as English language in general sense. So this lesson is poetry interpretation for people who are having to interpret some of the greats like Frank Kafka. So this is a poem by Frank Kafka, very short one, called Learn to be Quiet. First, I will read the poem, and then I will explain some interpretation that you can use if you have to write a paper on this writer. You need not do anything. Remain sitting at your table and listen. You need not even listen, just wait. You need not even wait. Just learn to be quiet, still, and solitary, and the world will freely offer itself to you. Unmasked. It has no choice. It will roll in ecstasy at your feet. Okay, so whenever you're writing a paper to interpret a poem like this, the teachers typically will give you a writing prompt of some kind, a writing prompt to guide what they want you to express. So what are some of the things you can gather from this poem? First of all, you should think about the main idea. The main idea in this poem is about remaining still and peaceful in order to attract the things that you want in life. So not that you should not be active, but that you should not run out very loudly and flagrantly in pursuit of your goals, that you should be calm, be peaceful, and be at your center, and the things that you want will simply come to you. That's the idea. You attract. It's kind of similar to the law of attraction. So if you want to add that to an essay, by all means do so. Overall, that's the main idea. Okay. It has a theme that is very peaceful, very gentle. The mood is very soothing and inspirational. These are other concepts that you can approach and mention in a paper. You could do line analysis as well. You could analyze some of the lines for what their meaning is. The first line, for example, you need not do anything. Remain sitting at your table and listen. Whenever we look at that line, we can tell that he's saying to sit in one place. But then it sounds like Kafka, or the speaker in the poem, is questioning himself. Like, is that the extent of my message? You need not do anything, just sit and listen. And then he questions himself and he says, well, you know what? Now that I think of it, you need not even listen. He says, just wait. And then he again questions himself. You need not even wait. So don't wait and fret, right? Don't wait and worry. He questions himself again and he feels like, let me restate what I'm trying to say so that you fully understand the extent of the stillness and the waiting. Don't even just wait. Learn to be quiet while you're waiting. Be still while you're waiting. Don't worry and don't fret. So that would be a further line-based analysis of what Frank Kafka is saying. Sometimes you may be asked, or it may be a good idea to do some comparative analysis by taking this poem in particular and comparing it to something that either has a similar message or a very divergent message. You can compare two authors and two poems and say, Frank Kafka is saying this in his poem. Fully analyze his poem and then compare it to a similar piece with a similar theme or a similar message and say, now this poet has said these things about the same thing. For example, you could compare it to the Crystal Staircase piece by Langston Hughes. Have pause for a second. You could compare it to that, the idea of life progression in Crystal Staircase, that what is necessary in life. In the Crystal Staircase, there's forward movement, there's advancement despite challenges and whatever else. You could compare the two. What does Kafka say a person should do in pursuit of their goals in life, and what does Hughes say about those same ideas? What is their outlook on life? And then you can also look at the biographies of people like Kafka and Hughes and compare it to what they said. We write based from our personal experiences in our life. So what was Hughes's experience that led him to say what he did in the Crystal Staircase? What was Kafka's experience that led him to say what he did? What philosophies do they abide by? You could also speak about that in a comparison essay. You could speak specifically about their life philosophies in the content and why, the reasoning behind it. This allows you to expand your essay, and so when people are worried about, oh my God, that page limit, how am I possibly going to make an 8-page paper where I'm discussing Kafka's poem? It's so short. Well, these are some ideas. You can do theme, main idea, line-by-line analysis, and then comparisons to other works and other authors. You can talk about life experiences and philosophies that these writers have developed as a reason for explaining where they're coming from, reason to support your claim about what that person is saying in their poem or their piece. So short poems, it's not something to be scared of. There's always a way to approach it. So check back more from the English Tutor